Being 10 o'clock, I will call to order the Thursday, May 7th, 2026 meeting of criminal justice. I assume all members have had a copy or have had a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting. If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 2nd, 2026.
Support.
Moved and supported, any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Finance reports.
You will find your project income statement for the Criminal Justice Communication Allocation Fund, year to date through April 30th of this year. And you'll see you have a cash balance of just over 88,000.
Questions of the finance report? Very good. Hearing none, we'll move down to the sheriff's report.
Good morning. You should have my report, but I'll give you a synopsis here. First of all, I attended the graduation of one of our, actually 3 of our corrections officers last Friday night at Washtenaw Academy, and we'll be sending some more to their next academy. Very good class, and we had a very good showing. Also, tomorrow I'll be attending the graduation of a deputy that we have at the Lansing Police Academy. And we'll have 3 more deputies attending the academy coming up here at Washtenaw for police as well. So very busy, a lot of hiring, a lot of training, and that's a good thing. So on top of that, our Marine Patrol is getting geared up for the summer, making sure the boats are all water worthy and ready to go. And I was told by my lieutenant that we'll see them out on the lakes here probably this weekend coming up. Hopefully we won't have to, be wearing winter weather gear for the lake. So, and also I wanted to touch on a couple other things. One is just a reminder. So this current week here, starting Monday, is National Corrections Officer Week. And thank you to everyone from the county who showed up for the tour of the jail. If you didn't get that, please let me know and we'll set something up. So I had a little cookout and hot dogs and hamburgers and to show our appreciation to our corrections officers. So that was a very good thing and very well attended. And the captain did a wonderful job of making sure that I think there were prizes and everything else. So it was a great event. Also, I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit that unfortunately Monday was a little bit of a sad day as well, because I received a letter of retirement from Lieutenant Corinne Purdue, our dispatch director. She is going to retire effective May 22nd, and we wish her well. And she will be missed, but it's a great thing for her. So that's all I have. I'll answer any questions if you have any. I know we do have a request coming up, and I have the captain in case there's any questions for that.
Questions of the sheriff? Mr. Van Dorn.
Sheriff, recently, a number of us were up at MAC, and we just had a great session on mental health. And I just want to touch base with you. I'm sure you're probably aware of a lot of these, but I just want to make sure. I mean, we talked a lot about mobile crisis teams, and the 988 crisis line. And Sheriff, is it good enough from Monroe?
The other Troy sheriff.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Right. He made a great presentation. Are you familiar with everything that they're doing down there?
Absolutely. He's really leading the state when it comes to mental health and how they're how they're approaching it. One of the things that matter of fact, when I met with along with Chief Emmerich, when we started kicking off our mobile crisis team here in Lenawee County, one of the things that we needed was a memorandum of understanding with us and CMH. So my first phone call was to Sheriff Goodenough, because I know how well they do it there. And interestingly, he said, I have a letter or a memorandum of understanding for everything but that. So, he said, we're gonna put that together and appreciated me kind of, showing him that. But yeah, so, they're doing a fantastic job. We're spinning up our mobile, response unit, and we've actually used them a couple of times so far. And, they're a great resource to have. And, so, yeah, whenever I get a chance, I'll call the sheriff and, talk to him a little bit about what they're doing. So,
Great, thank you very much.
absolutely, yeah.
I spoke to the sheriff after his presentation. He spoke very highly of you and
Oh,
I talked to him. So
well,
he's a big fella.
appreciate that. Yeah. It's that Troy thing that,
For you.
Mr. Ungst,
I'd just like to compliment the sheriff and captain for what you've done in the jail. I got the tour yesterday, very impressive, especially the booking area. Had concerns in the past of how that was set up, and it looks very nice now. And then the upstairs looks nice as well. So thank you for the tour and the work that's being done in there.
absolutely. And thank you, and thank the commission for the commissioners. And, we've come to you on a number of occasions and, asked for money for this or that. And so you can see now where that's gone, and it's been great to be able to do that transformation, having the booking redone, and it looks amazing, but on top of that, it also functions amazing. I was in there the other day for Cinco de Mayo, and one of our corrections officers' family brought in tacos, and there was a gentleman that was waiting to get in as well, and turns out he had to get fingerprinted. And that happens quite often, where somebody gets sent over from the court to be fingerprinted. And he was able to go over and sit down on our nice benches that we have, and, just kind of hang out there until somebody was able to fingerprint him. And in the past, that wouldn't have been the case. And so it looks good, it functions well, and our staff are very appreciative of how it's turned out. And really, it's been good for everybody. So thank you very much. And as well as our control, we redid control, we redid everything, and, you can see the kind of all the fruits of the labor. So, but thank you for that.
well, I too want to commend you, somebody who actually utilized the old jail back in the day. This is just more than light years ahead of what was before. But just want to make a comment for the captain. It seems to me, from what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've experienced, it's more than just the physical hardware, the physical renovations. I think the captain has done a yeoman's job in policy-wise, procedure-wise, making things different, which in turn makes it a much simpler operation to operate. Because you have the inmates and the residents are more subdued than they were previously. The procedure is spot on and clock on. So I think Cap, you deserve some serious credit for that. Amen.
He's done a great job. The turnaround in culture has been amazing, and we have a clean, quiet, and safe facility. So actually, I think bright was the term that I heard. And one other person said, I've been to many jails, and it really smelled good in our jail. And you never hear that. So I thought that was very good too.
Okay, well, we're dealing with jail. We have a request to recommend extending our contract with Viapath under the new terms. And there, you should have a copy of the contract available to you. And before we discuss this, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve.
Support.
Moved and supported. Cap, would you like to come up and address what it is we're looking at?
Microphone.
Turn your mic on.
Okay. So Viapath has been our contractor, well, long before I even took over as jail captain. And they do a fantastic job. They're at the mercy of a new FCC ruling where the federal commission has put a cap on how much we can charge inmates per minute for phone calls and video visitation. It's nationwide. It's not unique to Lenawee County, certainly not Michigan. It's everyone. And so with that, there will be some loss of revenue because we gain commissions on those costs. I negotiated as best I could a mechanism to try to recoup some of those potential lost revenues. $20,000 signing bonus, an increased percentage of commissions on video visits or inmate tablet content. But at the end of the day, we probably will see a loss of some type of revenue. How much, I don't know. There's a lot of variables that come with that. How many inmates, how many people get arrested and come to jail, whether or not they stay in jail, if they have money, if they're inclined to make phone calls, if they're inclined to use the tablet. So those variables prevent us from knowing potentially how much we would lose, but I do anticipate some. I did get some inquiries from other vendors that think that they can offset those costs, but I was actually in that business for a short period of time before I took over as captain here, and they make a lot of false promises. So I would recommend that we stay with Viapath and extend the contract.
Questions of the captain or the sheriff? All right, we have a motion on the floor to recommend extending our contract with Viapath under their new terms and the contract as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
All right, moving along now to the prosecuting attorney's office.
So this morning, Jackie is doing the Dale Warner sentencing. And after that, she'll be moving straight into Skelton. So you might be seeing me for the next 2 years.
Sure.
Yeah. So our adult warrant requests stay high. 275 came in. We authorized 274 individual counts. Juvenile petitions stay high. We have a high percentage of victims exercising rights, 71%, and provided 988 individual victim services during the month. Economic Crimes and Diversion Unit continues to rocket out, $14,000 in merchant fees, $4,000 in diversion fees, $7,000 some in jail reimbursement. And I want to say I'm a big fan of both Sheriff Troy's, but the last time I was in the jail in Monroe County, it did not smell good.
You be,
That's all I have.
should be, you're in jail in Little League, Monroe County?
Just visiting.
Okay. Question, go ahead.
For the record, since it's germane though, the other sheriff, Troy, has better UTVs.
Any further questions, comments? Thank you much. Moving now down to the public defender.
Two hundred and fifty-two, sorry. That is a decrease of 9 cases from last month, and our misdemeanor cases are 343 and a half. That is an increase of 31 cases, which brings a total of increase of 22 cases. And that's working very well, although we have an attorney that's out on a medical injury, and then we're still working on awaiting the next chief public defender.
Questions to the public defender's office? Thank you, sir. Moving down to emergency management.
So I'll just highlight a few things from my report. We participated in a severe weather tabletop exercise with the Village of Clinton. That went very well. It was good to see some of these smaller jurisdictions taking emergency preparedness seriously. So a lot of things learned there. They learned a lot of things about what emergency management in the county can help them with. Prepared a incident action plan for the Siena Heights Farewell Festival that occurred a couple weekends ago. No issues there. Our drone also flew there as Overwatch. Our county has a chemical consortium that meets quarterly, which is basically all the major chemical manufacturing facilities in the county, as well as myself and our county hazmat team. So we get together on a quarterly basis just to discuss things and trends and what they're seeing. And they've also been integral in our Norfolk Southern prop train, getting that here and the planning for those exercises coming up in August. We started our initial meetings for our critical incident mapping project. With that project, the way it got approved, we only had enough to do one of the projects where we submitted for two. So this year, we decided to do Hadrian College first. And then if we can get this grant again next year, phase two would be the county buildings. So that'll all be done this summer. We have to be completed by the end of August for all of that. We also took the drone out to do some damage assessment from the severe thunderstorms we had on April 14th. There was straight line winds up in Woodstock Township, and it severely didn't destroy, but it severely damaged one house up there. It was amazing what it did, but all the houses around it were not impacted at all. But this house, the entire roof was taken off, the garage was gone, and the barn was flat. And all of the debris from that house was stacked up against the neighbor's barn. And the other amazing thing to me was the garage was gone. There was a boat and a car in the garage and not a scratch on them. And luckily, nobody was injured or died in that event. They were able to get into their bathtub during the event, and they made it out without any injuries. And then lastly, as requested at the last meeting, I attached a copy of all the inventory of all the tornado sirens in the county.
Questions? Commissioner Van Dorn.
Thank you. You can't believe, Craig, the number of calls a number of commissioners have had about the tornado siren. So my question is that do we know of all those listed, are they all operating or are they inoperable?
So, Litchfields do not operate, and Raisin Township. The rest of them are all operating.
So I'm just wondering if we can get with GIS and do a plot map of where all of these are and either, mark them in a color, the ones that work and the ones that don't work, so that, we have that available for the public, because we've had a lot of requests since the last meeting.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Krasny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Adding on to that, you said Raisin Townships do not operate currently, and the city of Adrian doesn't have any sirens as well.
City of Adrian nor the Madison Township.
So we have quite a little bit of a gap there. What's sort of I know this is ballpark, but the average coverage area for one of those? How far does the sound travel?
1 mile.
So we have quite the gap here in our largest
Well,
metropolis.
in order to have 100% coverage for the whole county, you would have to add over 200 sirens at a cost of $30,000 a siren.
But something to look at, given it's our largest city center, obviously, and there's,
That's up to the city if they want one or not, but they haven't had one as long as I've been in emergency management. Did they have one when you were?
I had one when I was first chief. I came back, there was no sirens.
thank you.
Commissioner Ungst.
Yeah, to continue on that conversation, and of course, in my previous job, I was involved in this a little bit. And I understand the dynamics of the sirens. Realistically, we've passed that on to the municipalities, or not really pass it on, it's always been part of the municipalities. But I too have received some phone calls on it. I think that's what we're gonna need to determine is how we go forward with this, because there has been quite a concern with citizens over the sirens, and I guess we just kind of need to take a strong look at that and see how we're going to work with the municipalities and try to get these up and running.
I think that we're in a situation where people have historically relied on the sirens for warning for many years past. Technology has taken a few steps ahead. We have the Rave Alert program. We have the test pattern stuff in the televisions. So those are probably much better systems than the sirens were, because they have the capability, if used, to reach everyone. I think the idea is to maybe in some degree advertise or promote more at events the rave system. If that were in full strength, we would reach the county very quickly. Everybody we could reach very quickly. Whereas the sirens, if we did so, would be at a huge cost. And again, you'd have to work with the municipalities. Adrian doesn't have one. I don't believe Adrian will get one. So that's something to look at for the future. For the question, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was also just gonna, add to that, that from a dollars and cents wise, even though the sirens, it's a one-time cost, Rave, the county pays for is an annual cost. The annual cost on Rave per citizen, just using 100,000 people for the county as a round number, costs 12 cents a year. It would take 500 years for that 12 cents a year to equal out to the cost of adding 200 sirens to get 100% coverage in the county. So it's not that they shouldn't use the sirens they have. If they have the sirens that are already there and functioning, obviously use them. But to add more sirens is not cost effective for the population that you're going to reach.
Mr. Van Dorn.
Yeah, I agree with our chairman here and the fact, Craig, we've got to do a better job of marketing this rave system. I mean, how are we getting that information out? Is there, does every municipality have some sort of brochure or something that talks about the rave? How are we getting this out?
We've done a number of things, in addition to, during severe weather week, we really push it out hard. We've had municipalities that have pushed it out on their websites. I believe Madison has a link right on their website to sign up for, in addition to some other municipalities. I believe some municipalities have also sent out mailer stuffers with like the water bill or, any type of municipality, bill that goes out. And then I know Jen has pushed it out on our social media as well.
Is that I'm sorry, can I, continuing on a follow-up question? Is that something that we could do through equalization? Maybe, because they go out to everybody in the county and put something in there, because I mean, if this is the new system, I mean, I understand that people have it on their websites and I understand we have it on our website and they're trying to push it out. Not everyone's on a website. You've got an aging population that do not use the internet. So, I mean, we just have to have a better system to announce this program that's there so that we can get everyone's on. I'll admit our aging population, everyone's probably got a cell phone. So, but we just got to get the information out. So.
I agree. You're correct.
We'll talk about that with equalization. Okay.
Mr. Krasny.
Just for clarity, it's an opt-in type scenario, not an opt-out,
Correct.
correct? So they have to, do we have a total number on how many are signed up for rave?
We have 30,000 people signed up currently.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. That would be my one issue with that, but not that it's our role.
Mr. Ungst.
Yeah, just a little more follow-up on the siren situation as well. The sirens, a lot of them are aging. There are some newer ones in the county, but there are some that are as old as 70 years old. But one of the other issues that we had when we went to the 800 megahertz system is the sirens themselves didn't get switched over to the 800 megahertz system. So they're still on the old VHF system. In fact, they're really the only reason a VHF system exists in this county. So that is something that is probably going to come to an end at some point in the near future, because VHF system is just not supported.
Further questions, comments? Thank you. Now we move down to the medical examiner. Dr. Huron.
Good morning. Please bear with me. Sometimes I don't know what to report and what you guys need to know. But looking at our statistics here, the total number of cases so far this year is 73 for Lenawee County. And using those 3 months, I'm projecting that it'll be approximately 292 to 300 cases that we investigate this year. And if you look over on the right side, you will see the year's summary. The first number is Lenawee, the second number is Hillsdale. And for the first 3 months of this year, we have autopsied only 23% of our investigations. And for the month of March, Lenawee, we investigated 22 deaths. 86% of those were natural deaths, and only 41% or 14% were accidental. It was 50-50 male-female investigations. The interesting statistic is when you go down and look at the age groups, we had no deaths that we investigated under the age of 50. 9% were between the ages of 50 and 59, 60%, 23%, between the ages of 70 and 79, 45%, and over the age of 80, it was 23%. It's interesting because I'm in that age group. The total deaths at home were 59%, and those in healthcare percent were 41. This last month, we did not do any scene investigations in Lenawee. The other thing is we've had several gunshot wounds between April 29th and May 4th, a 6-day time period, 1 shooting in Lenawee, 3 in Hillsdale. And then the other issue that we've been experiencing is that just over the last 2 months, we've had several unclaimed bodies, 1 from Lenawee, 2 from Hillsdale, and 10 from Jackson. The majority of those in Jackson came actually from the hospital. Part of the problem there is that other counties and University of Michigan, Washtenaw has the same issue, is that if a patient is transferred from one medical facility to a tertiary care center, with Henry Ford Jackson being a relative tertiary care center for transfers from both Lenawee and Hillsdale, the responsibility of it is the responsibility of the county that you die in to investigate that death. So people that are transferred like to Ann Arbor and to U of M, it becomes their responsibility to investigate those deaths. Some of the counties have worked out things where Washtenaw doesn't do that full investigation, but turns it back, let's say, like to Jackson. The other issue that is, coming up with that is by law, it's the hospital's responsibilities to determine and to identify the next of kin and who will or will not accept the body. What ends up happening, it becomes the medical examiner's responsibility to disposition, which is either bury or cremate. The issue is most of the hospitals do not do their due diligence to identify, and it may take, 3-4 days for our office to identify and contact all of the family. And so it presents a very large caseload for our office. And it's not just an issue locally, it's an issue that we're addressing on a statewide basis because it's becoming more and more common. We've had 39 applicants for our part-time office, and Marcy Schulters has accepted that position. And on April 16th, we had a morgue tour that was with the Morenci High School Forensic Science Club class coming into to the office for a tour. And then on May 12th, our office is going to be working with District 1 on a mass fatality planning group for that. And that's my report.
Mr. Van Dorn.
Thank you, Doctor. So my concern hearing is that our unclaimed body for Lenawee, I know we have a policy for that. So where are we on that?
We're following policy as usual. We do our due diligence, meaning we contact or try to contact as many people as we can that may be related to the decedent. And then if he is not claimed by a family member, then we move forward with our process. We hire a funeral home and work out arrangements for cremation for the decedent.
And is that a charge back to the county?
Not usually. Usually the funeral homes will work for what the state pays through state emergency relief, which we apply through DHHS. This last unclaimed body that we did apply for, we did hear back quite quickly from DHHS, which surprised us because that is not the norm.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any questions, comments?
Let me just add on that. This is becoming an issue across the entire state. And so they're actually looking at what we do in, our 3 counties as to, how to proceed with identifying and doing the due diligence. But it's becoming an issue for all of the counties.
Thank you. Yeah.
Doctor, I have a couple of questions. You alluded a couple of times to notifying all the family or as many members of the family as you can. Are you required to notify the entire family or someone from the family?
Most of the time what we do is the immediate, close members of the family. The other issue has been when family has refused, but then a friend or, church want to claim the body and take care of it. Then we have to go through the legal process and follow the law in those cases. So we explore all of those options to minimize actually the cost to the county itself. So if we can use state funds, if we can use church funds, if we can use the veterans, funds, we try and search for all of that to pay for the unclaimed. And then we try and work and get the funeral directors to accept it at a lower rate.
My second question, you said that when someone is transferred, for example, to Ann Arbor, so Washington County, if they die in Washington County, sends back to the originating county the cost of the investigation. Is that correct?
That can be variable, but this has been an issue that has gone on for a long time. What has happened is the majority of the time, they will do the investigation. However, the autopsies are the most expensive portion. So what they have done, in the case, and I'm going to be speaking primarily from Jackson, is that, yes, we've worked with them and have ended up paying for the autopsy that they do. But they still have to file all of the, the information because, but I think it's, it works in the long run if we're cooperative and work together to try and solve these issues. It's the same thing that with deaths that occur in the prisons. I have billed back the state to pay for that. So, the correctional facility that's here in Lenawee, if someone dies there, we go through a full investigation if it does in Jackson. And then what we do is bill because we get paid, patients or prisoners from all over the state. So why should it become our responsibility in our counties to pay for that? So I try and be creative and work to minimize the cost to the county.
Thank you. Further questions, comments? Thank you much, Doctor. And I see no one here from the courts. Maurice Bear Campus.
Construction continues at the campus. Hopefully, old detention will be completed at the end of the month. I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. We've been celebrating Teachers Week and Nurse Week this week at the campus. The kids have started their beehive. So the honey operation is in effect. Yesterday, several of the residents, I think there was 9 of them, shared poems with the board yesterday at our LYC meeting. So we got to enjoy that. And then we are gearing up for our summer project. We have numerous dates working at the track and different events throughout the community. So we're getting ready for the summertime.
Questions?
I
Comment? Commissioner Van Dorn.
believe the youth helped us with our tire program, this, did they,
Yes, they did.
tire program?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We
It's a
had-
big
we had-
help out there.
Sorry. Let me address real quickly the poems he referred to that these kids read. I believe it was the very first one that read. I tell you, if you'd have been there and heard this, that was directly from the soul. That young lady hurt. She had pain. And you could see it and you could feel it, not only in the verbiage, but in the presentation. And I was significantly moved. I really was. That gal bled from the heart when she said that.
That was the most poems, I think, they get nervous, obviously, going in front of the board and
Sure.
presenting as being kids, but they did a really good job. And there
They
was
did.
9 kids, and that's the most we've ever had. So
That's great. Okay, any further questions, comments? Hearing none. Is there any other updates or other business to be brought to this committee?
I just, one other
Van
thing,
Dorn.
for the youth center that, I meant to bring up is that I think the new program of, recognizing the students and, giving them a card from the board and a little stipend, much like the courts are doing in some of their systems, I think that's made a big difference out there in the activity with the people. I think it's a great program.
yeah, for sure. So the board started like a sunshine club, basically to spend some, spread some sunshine on some of these kids for the things that are going good and the changes that they're making in their lives, obviously. So they bring them down to the board meeting and address them. And our program manager comes down and talks a little bit about the accomplishments and what's going on. So yeah, it's been a really good program. We appreciate it.
For clarification, the board being referred to is the Maurice Beer Campus Board. It's not this board.
Yeah.
Or the Board of Commissioners. Okay, any other updates or other business to be brought to this committee? Any further updates or other business? Hearing none, I will entertain, is there any public comment? Any public comment from the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported, is there any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Most same sign, motion carries.